Maya Khan never liked corporate events. She had been an intern for barely 3 weeks at Helios International, one of the city's most powerful tech companies. Every day she moved like a shadow through the hallways, quiet, polite, invisible. People barely noticed her, and honestly, she preferred it that way. She wasn't born for luxury, confidence, or spotlight. She was born for hard work, silence, and small dreams packed in a second-hand backpack. But today, she was forced to attend the company's grand annual gala, a place filled with shimmering lights, clinking glasses, and people with polished accents. To Maya, it felt like stepping into another planet. While the hall buzzed with noise and sophistication, Maya nervously held a tray with water like a waiter instead of an invited employee. She stood near the entrance, staring at hundreds of round tables arranged neatly with gold-rimmed plates and crystal glasses. She had no idea where interns were supposed to sit. Her hands were shaking, her heart felt like a tiny bird banging against a cage. She didn't want to ask anyone. She never asked. She feared being judged, laughed at, or worse, ignored. So she took a deep breath and looked around. The chairs were filling quickly. Most tables had groups dressed in expensive suits. She found one table that strangely had empty seats, decorated more beautifully than the rest. She didn't understand the special arrangement. She assumed maybe it was for late employees or people who didn't have assigned seating. So she walked toward it. She sat down, then she exhaled deeply, relieved to finally hide in a corner and blend in. But she did not blend, because she had unknowingly sat at the VIP executive table, the CEO's personal table, reserved only for the top-level board members. She had stepped into the lion's den without knowing, and fate was already laughing. Moments later, a man took the seat next to her. Tall. Broad shoulders. Quietly powerful. He wore a black suit that fit him too perfectly, as if tailored by destiny itself. His hair was slightly messy, and his jaw was sharp enough to carry entire empires. But Maya didn't know him. She didn't know that this was Aiden Wolf, the cold, mysterious billionaire CEO of Helios International, the kind of man whose slightest expression could shake the stock market. He glanced at her once, just once, with mild curiosity, noticing she wasn't familiar. But he said nothing. He didn't like announcing who he was. He often came to events without bodyguards, without introductions, blending into crowds like a ghost with a fortune. Maya had no idea she was sitting beside her boss's boss. Instead, she sighed aloud. A heavy sigh, filled with frustration and exhaustion. Aiden raised a brow. She muttered under her breath, unaware he was listening. I swear this place is too much. And that CEO, what was his name? Aiden Wolf. God, he's terrifying. He walks like the building belongs to him. She rolled her eyes. Well, I guess it does belong to him. Aiden stared at her, amused. She continued, growing bolder, thinking she was speaking to just another intern. I mean, seriously. Who needs to be that tall, that confident, and that stone-faced? He could smile once in a while. The entire company would faint with shock, but still. A little humanity wouldn't kill him. Aiden almost choked on his drink. Maya shook her head, still venting softly, unaware of the storm rising beside her. And don't get me started on the pressure. One wrong step and it feels like he'll fire the entire floor. Every time he walks past, everyone freezes like statues. I bet even his reflection is scared of him. Aiden finally spoke, voice smooth and deep. Is that so? Maya jumped, startled. Her cheeks went red instantly. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I wasn't talking to you. He smirked. Clearly. She wanted to disappear under the table before she could run away. Music started, lights dimmed, and dozens of people walked toward the table. Executives, directors, elite investors. Maya froze. Why were all these important people coming here? Then the host announced loudly, ladies and gentlemen, presenting our CEO, Mr. Aiden Wolf. Spotlights fell, and the men sitting beside her calmly stood up. Maya's soul left her body, her lips parted. Her eyes widened. Her stomach dropped 50 floors below. He looked down at her with a slow, dangerous smile. Don't run, he whispered. You're already here. Stay. She sat like a statue while he made his speech, all the while her mind screamed like a fire alarm inside a silent church. But Aiden wasn't angry. He wasn't cold. He was intrigued, genuinely, deeply intrigued, because for the first time in years, someone had spoken about him honestly, not filtered, not fearful, not strategic, just pure, unfiltered truth. And it was refreshing. After his speech, he returned to his seat, and the two sat side by side in an electrifying silence. Then he leaned closer. So, He asked, "What else do you think about me?" Maya covered her face with both hands. "I'm going to get fired," she whispered. Aiden chuckled softly, something no one in the company had heard in ages. "No," he replied. "You're not getting fired." He paused. "In fact, I think I might promote you." Her head shot up. "What? Why?" "Because," he said, "you're the first person who's ever spoken to me like a human." Her heart thumped loudly. He offered his hand. "Let's start again." "I'm Aiden." Maya," she whispered. He smiled, genuinely this time. "Nice to meet you properly, Maya." What followed was the longest, strangest, most unforgettable night of her life. They talked, argued, laughed, and threw playful comments at each other. He teased her for insulting him. She teased him for scaring the entire company. For once, Aiden wasn't a CEO. For once, Maya wasn't an invisible intern. Two souls met accidentally at the wrong table at the right time, and the rest of the world faded into background noise. The next morning, the entire company exploded with rumors. Who was that girl sitting with the CEO? Why was he talking to her so much? Did he smile? Aiden ignored every whisper because he only cared about one thing: Maya, the shy intern who didn't know who he was, the girl who wasn't afraid to call him terrifying, the only person who ever made him laugh without trying. He called her to his office, but not to fire her, not to scold her. He wanted to know her, her dreams, her fears, her talent. He wanted to see her shine. And as days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into the quiet blooming of something fragile and beautiful, Maya realized something. She had accidentally sat at a VIP table, but maybe destiny had reserved that seat for her all along.